Alright, so my list is nothing ridiculous that you guys haven't seen before. I am taking a lot of interceptors in the list, but I'm just going to get into it. I'll just talk to you about it. I wanted to make this list a bit punchier than I usually do. Still thematic, still very Terminator focused, and still like not an incredibly hyper competitive Grey Knights list, not full of Dread Knights, not full of interceptors and Strike Marines. I wanted to make it mine, but I also wanted to make it actually like hit and actually give me a chance of succeeding occasionally. To that end, I am making a battalion. I'm only bringing 2 HQs, actually. I'm bringing Samandus, this time rocking a Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Knight suit. I'm giving him the sword, obviously, because it's far and away the best option for Dread Knights these days. I wish their fists were still good. The fists used to give them an extra attack back in 8th edition, but they just do nothing now, which is unfortunate. They're free, I guess. But the sword is too good to pass up. Samandus is obviously my warlord. I'm giving him 2 warlord traits by spending a command point. He is having first to the fray, because I've been giving him first to the fray for like 4 years-ish now, and it's just cool. It's not as good as it used to be. Oh man, I say that a lot about this codex. But there's a lot of good things in this codex. But first to the fray, giving him that +1 to charge and advance, and giving everybody around him +1 as well. Just help them get closer. I'm also giving him Demon Slayer. Not because I think I'm going to encounter a lot of demons, but because it gives him +1 attack. And that means +2 attacks when he does the sweep profile with the greatsword there. So that does mean that if if he's doing the sweep profile with his sword, he gets 12 attacks at strength 6, AP 2 damage, which is awesome. Yeah, and then he has no relic. No, does he? Oh god, I think I gave him checking. I am giving him a relic. I'm giving him the Sigil of Exigence because it's great and it's silly, and even when you tell people what to expect from it, it always catches them off guard. It's just fun, also. I am spending 20 points to give him Servant of the Throne as well, so he has 3 up invuln for 1 phase of the game whenever I need him to, which hopefully is going to make him stick around a lot. I say that all the time and then he dies. But this time he's in a Nemesis Dread Knight, so that's different. He also has Vortex of Doom and Empiric Amplification, because I find those spells incredibly useful. That's all just the first HQ. Second HQ is Brother Captain Akoziel. You all know him. I am paying a command point to give him a warlord trait as well. He is having Unyielding Anvil, so everybody in 6 inches has objective secured, or double objective secured if they already have objective secured. And he has the Soul Glaive because it's really cool, and I modeled him with it. So I'm going to be 100% honest. A lot of this list is models that I thought looked cool and wanted to show people when I go to Las Vegas. So it's going to be a good time. But Akoziel, he's going to hopefully kick ass and take names. Troops-wise, I'm bringing 3 squads of Terminators, 1 squad with Halberds, a single warding stave, which I might actually start using because a 4-up invuln and shooting is good sometimes. I might actually try to get that going. And there's also an Incinerator in that squad. It's just there. It's 5 points, and occasionally it's proven useful. I did kill a Space Marine Chaplain once with the Incinerator, and that was really cool. Deep strike them in and then incinerated him with that. That was awesome. So, I don't know. Maybe that'll help out. Second squad is all swords, except for the Justicar, who has a hammer. His name is Thaddeus. And then my third squad is, it's silly, it makes the squad 260 points, but I am in fact bringing squad Gravitas to a competitive event. So all Nemesis Demon Hammers on these guys. Bonk squad. I'm not upgrading any of them with what's it called, Endowment and Extremis or anything. I always forget. Sometimes I like to give the Nemesis Demon Hammers Endowment and Extremis in order to give them the Augurium Scrolls so they can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound every time they fight, but I always forget about it. It's just a wasted command point. So not today. I want to make sure this list in the heat of battle and the literal heat of Las Vegas, although it's January, I don't think it's going to be too hot. But in the conflux of meeting other people And if we're honest, also being super hungover during these games, I don't want to have to remember more things. So I'm putting all of my upgrades onto my HQs and just remembering that everything else is just going to be as they come. Elites-wise, I am bringing... It's a toss-up. So the list as I have it written now, I am bringing an Apothecary with an Nemesis Demon Hammer who knows Sanctuary. I think that's going to... I'll explain in a moment the reason that I think... I guess I'll just explain now. I'm going to run Preservers, not Exactors at LVO, because I think Preservers have a really cool power and cool rules, and the Apothecary being able to give everybody within 3 inches a 5-up if they get their spell off, like a 5-up Feel No Pain if they get their spells off, is awesome. I love the idea of Grey Knights being more survivable. So, thinking about the Apothecary. It's a toss-up between him and my Brotherhood Ancient, because +1 attack is significant, but also the Feel No Pain is really nice. So I'm going to play around with both of these. I think my first game that I'm going to do with Graham this week, I'm going to run the Apothecary. We'll see how that goes. Whoever I choose, ultimately, they're going to cost almost the same points-wise, and whichever one I choose is going to have Sanctuary, so I won't have to worry too much about that. I'm also, for Elites, I'm bringing in Dreadnought. Brotherhood Dreadnought. I'm really stoked about this because everybody brings Dread Knights and you rarely see a Dreadnought on the field. He's going to be a lot of fun. He's got an Assault Cannon, he's got the Underslung Heavy Flamer, and he's hopefully going to surprise people. If I run him in Preservers, I can spend a command point ahead of time for a Charge of the Ancients to give him an 8-inch move, reroll charges, and +1 damage on his fist. Which would just be sick, running up to some vehicle and punching it for 4 damage with each strike. So I'm going to bring him. I am fully expecting him to just explode. But if he doesn't, and he gets in and starts knocking off some wounds, or maybe a Koziel gives him objective secured, and he takes some point away from some other models, it'd be really cool. Who knows? I think he's going to do great. We'll see. I don't think he's going to do great. I hope he does great. But that's another reason I want to run Preservers, to make the Dreadnought more viable in that context. Fast attack. I am running 3 squads of Interceptors. I am running 2 with Swords and 1 with Falchions. Everybody tells me not to run Falchions in the current meta, which sure. But there are certain armies that the Falchions are going to be really good against. Guard. Honestly, I think Skitarii. Anything with 1 wound and T3, the Falchions are going to be excellent again because you just get extra attacks. And who cares that they're only strength 4 and AP 2 and 1 damage? If they do a lot more attacks, it's going to be really helpful. Tyranids, I'm expecting to see a lot of Tyranids as well, so that'll also help there. And let's see, we got the Interceptors. And last, double Dread Knights. Just the 2, plus my Grandmaster. I ran these guys back when they weren't good, and I'm really happy that they're good now. Again, this guy has the fists because I modeled him that way back in 8th edition. He had the fist gave him an extra attack, and that was kind of cool. But he has the sword, so he's going to kick ass. I'm giving them both the Dread Knight teleporters, and I don't know. I like that Dread Knights are kind of a scourge on the tabletop these days. Everybody talks about them, how powerful they are. It should be that way. The Dread Knight, the point of the Dread Knight suit is so that a Grey Knight can hop in it and then do battle directly with a Greater Demon one-on-one himself. It's supposed to be strong. It's supposed to be formidable. You're supposed to see it striding across the battlefield and you're like, oh shit, we're fucked. So I like that Dread Knights are really strong now. That 4-up Invuln it's really good. As I mentioned, I'm going to be running this list as Preservers. Maybe I'll mess around with that, and maybe I'll ultimately prevail and throw Exactors on there. But if I end up running the Apothecary, and he ends up doing the work for me, it's going to be because he's Preservers. If I end up going back to Exactors, I'm probably going to go and settle on my Ancient here. His banner says Samandus, by the way. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, but he's Samandus' standard bearer. Yeah, that's the whole idea. Just going to run... my overall strat with this. That's a good point. So, obviously, secondaries are dependent on the mission, but I think I'm going to be choosing Purifying Ritual from the Grey Knights book in most matches, because I'm not going to be doing Teleport Assault. Because I think I'm going to start with all of my Grey Knights in a field and just move forward. I've played that in a few games, and it's proven really effective. It's just a lot. I found that when I leave a lot of them in space, then that means I'm basically just doing turn 1, 1,000-point game versus a 2,000-point army. So, but if I start a ton of Grey Knights in the field turn 1, there's too many targets for them to focus something down, and it really makes an impenetrable sort of silver wall that moves forward. I'll still use Teleport Strike for certain missions and against certain armies, but I don't think I'm going to just throw everything into Teleportariums this time. Everybody's going to start in the field and just rush forward. So Purifying Ritual is going to be really useful, being able to just start marking objectives, and something like Stranglehold or Engage on All Fronts for a second one. And third one being dependent on my opponent's army. Maybe Assassination, maybe no prisoners, maybe grind them down. All depends on what it is. But yeah, so I am unfortunately not taking Samandus on foot. He's already been to Las Vegas. He's already fought the forces of chaos and the Xenos down there. So, although if I'm honest, it was in our last time being in Vegas, it was just all Space Marines everywhere. So he fought a ton of Imperial fists last time we were in Vegas. But this time, he's got a new ride. Yeah, that is my list. That's what I'm going to be running. Expect me to change it up over the coming weeks as I play against John and Graham and Derek, and I think I'm going to get a game in with Torin if I can find time for him. But yeah, adios.